Hello everyone, my name is Bladen Pearson and I'm a graduate instructor in Texas Tech's Personal Financial Planning program. In this video, we're going to construct a capital needs analysis for college education. Creating a capital needs analysis answers the question how much the clients will need to pay for their children's college education or the goal funding amount of their children's college education. So our goal here is to plan for the Smith's children's education. We're going to assume the oldest, Johnny, is 2, and they just had 2 twins, Ashley and Allison. Assume the cost of college today is $12,000 and that they will stay in college for 4 years. They can earn 9.5% rate of return on their investment, and the college costs increase at 7% per year. The easiest thing to do is to start out with a set of assumptions in our Assumptions tab. So we're going to make an Assumptions tab here on the first page. We're first going to add today's cost of education, and then we're going to also include the cost escalation of that education. We can also use the term inflation for college inflation. The other variables we'll include are John's age, Ashley's age, Allison's age, when the planned start time is, how long they will stay in college, the investment rate of return that they can receive, and we'll need to include the IARR. So let's fill out our variables. Today's cost of education is $12,000. The inflation rate is 7%. The college escalation rate. John is 2. Ashley and Allison were both just born, so their ages will be 0. The college start time is 18 years. The college stay time is 4 years. The investment rate that they can earn is 0.95 as a percentage form. I'm sorry, that's 9.5%. Now our IARR calculation we'll need to compute. If you need help with IARR, please check out section 1, as there is a video that reviews the inflation adjusted rate of return. To compute IARR in Excel, we'll first need to take in parentheses 1 plus our investment rate divided by, in parentheses, 1 plus our college escalation costs, and from that we'll need to minus 1. That will give us our IARR. Now we have our set of assumptions. From here, it'll be easier to use Name Manager to keep up with our assumptions. So we can select an assumption that we would like to name, go to the Formulas tab, hit Name Manager, New, and then for John's age, it'll reference cell B5, which is 2. From there, we'll select OK. As you can see, I have done it for the first 2. I will pause the video and do the remaining amount. Once you have completed, your inputs in Name Manager should look like this. From here, we can go into the next sheet and begin the construction of our capital needs analysis. What we'll first need to do is figure out the years of college education longitudinally. So we know that the first year of college is 16 because that is when John will go to school. 17, 18, and then we can stretch this out to 21. And this will be our first heading. From here, we can add, to keep up with our inputs, college cost for John. And I will do this to save a little bit of time for Allison. And then for Ashley. So what we're going to do is look at each year of college cost. And then from there, we'll take the total amount for each year. So let's first inflate out the cost of college education. Hit the equals FV function, select FV. For our rate, we can enter cost escalation, which should be saved from name manager. We can enter cell B5 for a number of periods. Our payment amount, which will be blank. The present value, which is today's cost, which should also have been referenced from name manager, and close our parentheses. This is the future cost of college education. What I'll need to do is make this a negative to not have it show up as a negative number. What we can do to make things easier and more aesthetically pleasing is bracket all of this inside of this box here using the round function. So we can enter round, parentheses. This is our number that we want to round down, comma, -2, which will take it to the 100th place, enter. Now, since we have everything referenced, we can simply drag this across for all the years of Johnny's education by selecting the drag and drop button. Now, let's analyze the years for Allison's and Ashley's cost of college education. Since the costs do not change for Allison and Ashley, we can take this cell and just drag it down to Allison's. Now we'll need to make an adjustment for the year back to cell D3. And we'll need to do that again when we drag it down for Ashley. From here, we can highlight Allison and drag and drop just as we did John's. From here, we can highlight this year, go to the Formulas tab, and select Auto Sum. And this is the summation of these cells in here. We can drag and drop this across for each year. Now what we'll need to do is figure out the required current investment amount for each of those years analyzed. What we'll need to do is solve for the present value discounted back at the investment rate for each of those years. So we'll do this by entering equals negative PV parentheses, the rate should be the investment rate that we had from name manager. The number of periods should be cell B3. The payment amount should not be anything or a 0. The cost that we're trying to discount is the total annual cost in parentheses. To make this more aesthetically pleasing, I will round this down to the nearest 100th place. Now, we can drag this cell for each year to figure out the required investment amount for each of those years. From here, we can highlight these cells, go back to the Formulas tab, select AutoSum, and in this cell will be our total amount. So this is our total required current investment amount. This means that for them to fully fund college education today, this is the required current investment amount. Now, if we would like, we can solve for the required annual ordinary annuity amount as well. And we're going to assume it's funded in 16 years. From here, we'll enter equals negative PNT parentheses. The rate amount will simply be the investment rate from name manager. The number of periods is the college start rate minus John's age to get the 16. From here, our present value is the required is the required current investment amount. There will be 0 future value, and we'll assume end mode. Enter. To make this more aesthetically pleasing, I will round this down by 2 decimal places. So the required annual ordinary annuity is $11,600. Again, this is Blaine Pearson, and in this video, we covered how to construct a capital needs analysis for college education. Thank you for watching.